Situated in the middle of the vast, dry Tularosa Basin, Holloman Lake is located along Highway 70 between White Sands National Park and the city of Alamogordo in south-central New Mexico. Holloman Lake is located at the southwest corner of Holloman Air Force Base. The White Sands National Park is New Mexico's most popular park and is visited by over 700,000 people a year. Rising from the heart of the Tularosa Basin, White Sands is like no place on earth. This great natural wonder is famous for its white sand dunes, composed of gypsum crystals. The gypsum dune field is the largest of its kind on Earth and covers an area of 275 square miles. Located 3.3 miles east of White Sands Visitor Center is the entrance to Holloman Lakes. After exiting Highway 70 through an open gate, the gravel road passes a small playa, or lake bed, which is typically dry throughout much of the year. Just beyond is Holloman Lake, the largest body of open water for many miles in this arid landscape, and an important area for thousands of migratory and wintering birds. With a recorded total of 256 species of birds, Holloman Lakes is a great year-round birding area and is definitely worth a visit if visiting White Sands. Holloman Lake is fed by treated wastewater from the nearby Holloman Air Force Base, and the lake serves as an evaporation pond, hence the reason for no drinking, swimming, boating, fishing, or hunting. Dogs are allowed on a leash, but must be kept away from the lake. We provide more information on the reasons why at the end of the video. The gravel road continues along the east shore of the lake, with a good number of level parking areas that offer good views of the lake and surrounding mountains. These parking areas may at times be occupied by boondockers that come here to camp in their RVs and trailers, especially during the cool winter months. Summer temperatures may exceed 100 degrees, so it is important to plan your visit during the early morning hours or late afternoons. The American avocet is a tall, elegant shorebird with a distinct long and thin upturned bill. The avocet generally feeds in shallow water with little to no vegetation. This individual is in non-breeding plumage. Breeding plumage birds have a rusty head and neck. The slightly smaller black neck stilt is similar in appearance to the avocet, but it has pinkish red legs. Both species are common from March through September and can often be found together. The Barred sandpiper breeds in the Arctic tundra and winters in South America. It can be identified from other similar shorebirds by its long wings that extend beyond the tip of its tail. Good numbers can be found at Holloman Lake during its fall migration from mid-July to October. The least sandpiper is the world's smallest shorebird and may be found here throughout the year. It can also be identified from other similar shorebirds by its yellowish legs. The slightly larger and bulkier western sandpiper is a common spring and fall migrant along the shores of the lake. The spotted sandpiper is a common spring and fall migrant. The lesser yellowlegs is a fairly common spring and fall migrant. The large and stocky willet is a common visitor during spring and fall migration. Two distinct populations breed in North America. The western subspecies nests far inland in freshwater prairie marshes in such areas as the northern Great Plains. The smaller and darker eastern subspecies nest along the Atlantic and Gulf coasts in saltwater marshes along barrier islands and beaches. Recent studies indicate that the two subspecies may actually represent two separate species. Flocks of several hundred Wilson's phalaropes can be found at the lake from April through September. Fewer numbers can also be found in October and November. The long, needle-thin bill identifies it from other phalaropes. Phalaropes are one of the few species of birds where the breeding plumage females are brighter than the males. By carefully scanning the flocks of Wilson phalaropes, you may spot the much less numerous redneck phalarope, with its dark patch behind its eye and a slightly shorter bill. The adult snowy egret is a fairly small white heron with a black bill, black legs, and yellow feet. Young birds usually have greenish legs and feet. One or two birds may be found from April through mid-October. The more numerous white-faced ibis has a long decurved bill and dark plumage with iridescent green and reddish tones. It is very similar to the glossy ibis, which is mainly along the coastal eastern United States. Another large wading bird that can be found here is a long-billed curlew, which is fairly common between March and September. The black tern is an uncommon spring migrant and common fall migrant. Up to several pairs of snowy plovers have nested at the lake between March and September. This tiny plover is on the decline and is now listed as near threatened due to the habitat loss and human disturbances. The eared grebe may be found year-round, but is most numerous during winter. The winter months are a good time to look for waterfowl, such as this American widgeon, and a distinct canvasback with a wedge-shaped head. Although the northern shoveler may be seen year-round, it is especially common in the winter. The sandhill crane is an uncommon winter visitor to the area. The lake also attracts a good number of land birds, such as this lark bunting, which is a fairly common migrant. The lark sparrow is a mainly fall migrant. The loggerhead shrike is a fairly common year-round resident. The Say's phoebe is also a fairly common year-round resident. The yellow-headed blackbird may be common between April and October. The red-winged blackbird can be found year-round. The salt cedars often attract Wilson's warblers during migration. As well as orange-crowned warblers. And the American pipit is a common winter visitor and migrant. While doing research for this video, we discovered that a team of researchers from the University of New Mexico Museum of Southwestern Biology reported unexpectedly high levels of a chemical contamination at Holloman Lake. Extremely high levels of PFAS were found in a number of birds and mammals that were sampled. PFAS were widely used in firefighting foam known as AFFF. This foam was used in training exercises over a period of several decades at Holloman Air Force Base. Due to the runoff, some of it entered the lake along drainage ditches. Continued research to understand the full extent of the PFAS and its long-term effects on the environment is urgently needed. We have added a link to the article in the description below. On our last visit, we witnessed a barbed wire fence being installed along the eastern shore of the lake. After seeing lots of cow tracks, we suspect that the fence is to keep cattle from accessing the lake. Fortunately for boondockers, some of the popular sites will remain accessible. We would like to know what your thoughts are about the extreme toxic levels at Holloman Lake and their long-term effects on the birds and other wildlife. Please let us know in the comments below. If you found this video informative, please give it a big thumbs up and be sure to subscribe to our channel so that you do not miss our next Adven Nature.